If you're over the age of 60, there is a silent problem that may already be developing inside your body. And most people don't notice it until it begins affecting something they value most, their independence. The first place this problem usually appears is in the legs. At first, the signs can seem small and easy to dismiss. Your feet may feel colder than usual at night. Your legs might feel heavier when walking longer distances. Or you may notice a tingling sensation that comes and goes. Many people assume these symptoms are simply part of aging, but in reality, they are often early signs that circulation is beginning to slow down. And circulation is far more important than most people realize. Research has shown that poor blood flow to the legs can significantly increase the risk of falls, one of the leading causes of injury in adults over 60. When muscles and nerves are not receiving enough oxygen and nutrients, they become weaker, slower to respond, and less stable. But here is something most people never hear. There is one simple drink that can begin improving circulation surprisingly fast, sometimes within just a few hours. Not weeks, not months, hours. Today, I'm going to walk you through 10 of the most common drinks people rely on for improving circulation, ranked from the least effective to the most powerful. Some of them barely help at all. Some can improve circulation, but come with hidden drawbacks many people don't realize. And one drink in particular has been shown to dramatically increase blood flow to the legs and feet. The surprising part? You may already have it sitting in your kitchen right now, but most people are drinking it completely the wrong way. Before we get to the list though, it's important to understand what actually happens inside the body after the age of 60. Because once you understand this one small piece of biology, circulation suddenly becomes much easier to improve. Inside every blood vessel in your body, there is a tiny signaling molecule called nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as the relaxation signal for your arteries. When your body produces enough of it, blood vessels stay flexible and open, allowing blood to flow smoothly through even the smallest vessels that reach your legs and feet. But as we age, nitric oxide production naturally begins to decline. In fact, some studies suggest that after 60, the body may produce up to 70% less nitric oxide compared with younger adults. And when that happens, blood vessels gradually become narrower and less flexible. Blood flow slows. Oxygen delivery decreases. And that's when the symptoms begin appearing. Cold feet, leg fatigue when walking, numbness or tingling. But circulation problems go much deeper than discomfort. When blood flow drops, muscles receive less oxygen, nerves begin to deteriorate faster, and waste products start building up inside tissues. Over time, this can even contribute to balance problems and an increased risk of falling. Now most people are told the usual advice: walk more, elevate your legs, maybe take an aspirin. And while those things can help a little, they don't address the real underlying issue. The real problem is that the body is no longer producing enough nitric oxide. But the encouraging news is that this decline is not permanent. Certain natural compounds found in specific foods and drinks can actually stimulate your body to produce nitric oxide again. When that happens, blood vessels relax, they widen, and circulation begins improving, sometimes much faster than people expect. And in the next section, we'll begin ranking the drinks from number 10 to number 1, starting with the one that almost everyone assumes is great for circulation, but actually does very little to help. Let's begin with the drinks that many people believe are helping their circulation, but in reality make only a very small difference. Starting with drink number 10. Drink number 10. Plain water now, before anyone gets upset with me. Let me say this very clearly. Water is absolutely essential for your health. Without enough water in your body, your blood becomes thicker and harder for your heart to circulate. Proper hydration allows the heart to pump more efficiently and helps keep your entire cardiovascular system functioning smoothly. But when we talk specifically about improving circulation in the legs after the age of 60, water alone doesn't do very much. Several studies examining hydration and blood flow in older adults found that while drinking enough water helps maintain healthy circulation, the actual improvement in blood vessel dilation is quite small, and the reason is simple. Water doesn't contain the compounds needed to stimulate nitric oxide production. Remember the molecule we talked about earlier? Nitric oxide is the signal that tells your blood vessels to relax and widen so blood can flow more freely down into the legs and feet. Water keeps the system running properly, but it doesn't activate that relaxation signal. Think of water like putting oil in a car engine. It prevents damage and keeps everything moving smoothly, but it doesn't increase the engine's power. So yes, continue drinking water. Most adults over 60 should aim for roughly 6 to 8 glasses per day, depending on body size, activity level, and climate. But if you're relying on water alone to improve circulation in your legs, you may find the results disappointing. For circulation, water is the foundation, not the solution. That's why it receives a circulation score of 2 out of 10. Drink number 9, green tea. Next on the list is a drink that receives a lot of praise in the health world: green tea. And to be fair, green tea does contain powerful plant compounds known as catechins. These compounds act as antioxidants and have been shown to support the health of the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. A healthy endothelium helps arteries remain flexible and responsive. That sounds promising, but here's the catch. Most studies show that these improvements happen very gradually. In many cases, green tea must be consumed consistently for 8 to 12 weeks before researchers begin seeing measurable improvements in blood vessel function. So if someone is hoping to warm up cold feet or improve leg circulation quickly, green tea may feel like it's doing nothing at all. There's also another factor to consider. Green tea naturally contains caffeine. In certain individuals, caffeine can briefly cause vasoconstriction, meaning the blood vessels temporarily narrow rather than widen. This effect can partially cancel out the circulation benefits. Now, that doesn't mean green tea is unhealthy. It still offers excellent antioxidant support and may benefit metabolism and brain function. But when we're specifically talking about improving leg circulation after 60, the results tend to be fairly modest. One small detail also matters when preparing it. If you pour boiling water directly onto green tea leaves, you can destroy a portion of the beneficial catechins. The ideal brewing temperature is around 170 degrees Fahrenheit, slightly below boiling. Prepared properly and consumed regularly, green tea can offer mild vascular support. But compared with the drinks we're about to discuss next, its impact on circulation is relatively small. That's why green tea earns a score of 3 out of 10. And now we're moving into drinks that actually begin improving blood flow much more noticeably. The next one on the list surprised even me when I looked at the research. It's a fruit juice many people believe is extremely healthy, but it comes with a hidden problem most people never realize. Now we're starting to move into drinks that actually show noticeable improvements in circulation, but they still come with a few important drawbacks that many people don't realize. Let's continue with drink number 8. Drink number 8, tart cherry juice. Tart cherry juice has become extremely popular in recent years, especially among athletes and people trying to reduce inflammation. And there is some solid science behind that popularity. Tart cherries contain powerful plant compounds called anthocyanins. These compounds help reduce inflammation inside the lining of blood vessels. When inflammation decreases, arteries become more flexible, allowing blood to move more easily through them. Several studies have shown that tart cherry juice can improve vascular function and help reduce arterial stiffness over time. That sounds promising, but there is one important drawback: sugar. A single cup of tart cherry juice can contain around 30 grams of sugar. That amount of sugar can raise blood glucose levels very quickly. And when blood sugar spikes, it can temporarily damage blood vessel function and reduce circulation efficiency. So while the anthocyanins support blood vessel health, the sugar can partially cancel out some of those benefits. This becomes especially important after the age of 60, because many people in this age group are already dealing with prediabetes or insulin resistance, often without realizing it. There's also another factor to consider: cost. High-quality tart cherry juice can be quite expensive, sometimes costing $40 to $50 per month if used regularly. Now, that doesn't mean you need to avoid it completely. There's simply a smarter way to use it. Dilution helps significantly. Try mixing 1 part tart cherry juice with 3 parts water. This lowers the sugar load while still delivering beneficial plant compounds. It's also best consumed earlier in the day rather than late at night, giving your body time to process the natural sugars. So while tart cherry juice does offer some vascular benefits, it's far from perfect. That's why it receives a circulation score of 4 out of 10. Drink number 7, pomegranate juice. Next on the list is a drink researchers have studied extensively for heart and blood vessel health: pomegranate juice. Pomegranates contain powerful antioxidant compounds known as punny. These antioxidants work in a slightly different way compared with many other plant compounds. Instead of simply helping your body produce more nitric oxide, punnicollagens actually protect the nitric oxide that already exists in your bloodstream. And that's extremely important. Nitric oxide is a fragile molecule. It can easily be destroyed by oxidative stress inside the body. Pomegranate juice helps slow that destruction, allowing nitric oxide to remain active longer. Several clinical studies have shown that regular pomegranate consumption may improve blood flow and even reduce plaque buildup in arteries over time. That's impressive, but once again, we run into the same challenge. Sugar pomegranate juice contains roughly 32 grams of sugar per cup, which is even higher than tart cherry juice. High sugar intake can trigger spikes in insulin, which may temporarily reduce blood vessel flexibility. There's also the price factor. Pure pomegranate juice can be quite expensive, often costing $12 to $15 per bottle. So while it does provide genuine circulation benefits, it's not always the most practical drink for everyday use. If you do choose to drink it, make sure it's 100% pure pomegranate juice with no added sugars. And just like with tart cherry juice, dilution can make a big difference. Mixing it with water helps reduce the sugar impact, while still allowing you to benefit from its antioxidant compounds, because while pomegranate juice certainly helps circulation, the drinks we're about to discuss next begin working much faster and more powerfully. And the next one on the list is something many people already enjoy, especially during colder months. But when it's prepared the right way, it can begin improving circulation within just a couple of hours. Now we're entering the category of drinks that can begin improving circulation much more noticeably and often much more quickly. These are the drinks where people sometimes start noticing real changes. Warmer feet, less tingling, reduced heaviness in the legs when walking. Let's begin with drink number 6. Drink number 6, real cocoa. Drink this one surprises many people. Real cocoa. Not the sugary hot chocolate packets found in grocery stores, but pure, unsweetened cocoa powder. Cocoa beans are naturally rich in plant compounds called flavonols. These flavonols have been shown in multiple studies to increase nitric oxide production inside blood vessels. And remember, nitric oxide is the signal that tells your arteries to relax and widen, allowing blood to flow more easily throughout the body. Large scientific reviews looking at cocoa flavonols have found consistent improvements in blood flow and vascular flexibility. But what makes cocoa especially interesting is how quickly it can begin working. Some research suggests circulation improvements can begin within 2 hours after consumption. Many people actually feel the difference physically. Their feet begin feeling warmer. That heavy sensation in the calves starts easing. Walking may feel a little lighter, but there is one critical detail most people miss. You must use real cocoa powder. Those packaged hot chocolate mixes contain very little cocoa and are usually filled with sugar. And once large amounts of sugar are added, the circulation benefits drop dramatically. For circulation support, the best preparation is very simple. 1 tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa powder, mixed with hot water or warm milk, optional natural sweetener like stevia or monk fruit. This gives you the flavonols your blood vessels need without creating a blood sugar spike. The only downside, it can taste a bit bitter if you're not used to it. But when circulation improvement is the goal, the benefits can make it worthwhile. That's why real cocoa earns a circulation score of 6 out of 10. Drink number 5, watermelon juice. Now we move to a drink that supports nitric oxide production in a different way. Watermelon juice. Watermelon contains an amino acid called L-citrulline inside the body. L-citrulline is converted into another compound called L-arginine, which is then used to produce nitric oxide. In simple terms, watermelon provides the raw material your body needs to rebuild nitric oxide production. When nitric oxide levels rise, blood vessels widen and circulation improves. Studies examining watermelon consumption have shown improvements in arterial flexibility and reductions in blood pressure. For circulation in the legs, some people report feeling changes surprisingly quickly. Feet begin warming, the heavy aching feeling in the calves may start easing, and walking often feels more comfortable. Another advantage is that watermelon contains a very high water content, which slightly lowers its glycemic impact compared with many other fruit juices. But there are 2 practical challenges. First is availability. Fresh watermelon juice is easiest to prepare during the summer months when watermelons are in season. Second is preparation. You'll need a blender or juicer and fresh fruit. But when it's available, watermelon juice becomes one of the most natural ways to support nitric oxide production. That's why it earns a circulation score of 7 out of 10. But now we're moving into the top 4 circulation drinks. These are the ones that show the strongest improvements in blood flow. And one of them is incredibly simple, incredibly affordable, and surprisingly few people ever talk about it. Yet when people start drinking it regularly, circulation in their legs can improve dramatically within just a few weeks. Now we've reached the drinks that begin producing serious improvements in blood flow. These are the ones where many people start noticing clear changes in their legs within days or weeks. Less numbness, fewer nighttime cramps, and often more stability when walking. Let's begin with drink number 4. Drink number 4, hibiscus. Hibiscus tea is one of the most underrated circulation drinks I've encountered while researching vascular health. It's made from the dried petals of the hibiscus flower and has a deep red color with a naturally tart flavor, somewhat similar to cranberry. But the real power of hibiscus lies in how it affects your blood vessel lining, also known as the endothelium. Remember earlier when we talked about nitric oxide? Your endothelium is the tissue responsible for producing it. As we age, this delicate lining can become damaged by inflammation, oxidative stress, and years of metabolic strain. When that happens, nitric oxide production drops, and circulation begins to suffer. Hibiscus tea appears to help restore endothelial function. Several clinical studies have shown that hibiscus consumption can significantly reduce blood pressure and improve blood vessel flexibility. And when arteries become more flexible, blood flows more easily throughout the body. Some participants in these studies experienced noticeable blood pressure reductions within just a few weeks, suggesting that their blood vessels were relaxing and widening. Many people also report that leg heaviness and cramping begin improving after drinking hibiscus tea consistently. Another advantage is cost. A box of hibiscus tea bags usually costs only a few dollars and can last for several weeks. Preparation is simple. Steep 1 or 2 tea bags in hot water for about 10 minutes to fully release the beneficial compounds. Many people drink 1 cup in the morning and another in the evening. If the tart flavor feels too strong, a small amount of stevia can help balance the taste without adding sugar. But there is one important caution. Hibiscus can lower blood pressure quite effectively. So if you're taking blood pressure medication, it's wise to speak with your doctor before using it regularly. Because while hibiscus tea is powerful, it needs to be used responsibly. For circulation support, hibiscus tea earns a score of 8 out of 10. Drink number 3. Celery juice. Next we have a drink that gained tremendous popularity a few years ago. Celery juice. Now it's true that some of the hype around celery juice was exaggerated. But when it comes to circulation, the underlying science is actually very interesting. Celery contains high levels of natural dietary nitrates. These nitrates follow a fascinating pathway inside the body. First, bacteria in your mouth convert nitrates into nitrites. Then those nitrites travel into your bloodstream where they are converted into nitric oxide. And as you now know, nitric oxide is the molecule responsible for relaxing blood vessels and improving blood flow. Numerous studies have shown that nitrate-rich vegetables can significantly improve vascular function. In fact, athletes often use nitrate-rich foods to improve endurance, because better blood flow allows muscles to receive oxygen more efficiently. The same principle applies to adults over 60. When circulation improves, muscles in the legs receive more oxygen and nutrients. That often means less fatigue when walking and fewer muscle cramps. To make celery juice, you typically need 4 to 5 large celery stalks, blended or juiced into 1 glass. It's best consumed first thing in the morning on an empty stomach for maximum absorption. Now, I'll be honest, the taste is not everyone's favorite. It's slightly salty and very earthy, but the circulation benefits can be strong enough that many people decide it's worth it. That's why celery juice earns a score of 8.5 out of 10. And now we're about to reach the top 2 circulation drinks. One of them is a simple green smoothie that can dramatically increase nitric oxide production. And the number 1 drink on this list is considered by many vascular researchers to be one of the most powerful natural circulation boosters available. Now we've reached the top 2 drinks on this list. These are the options that deliver the strongest nitric oxide support, the most noticeable improvements in blood flow, and the greatest potential for restoring circulation in the legs. Let's begin with drink number 2. Drink number 2. Arugula smoothie. Arugula might look like just another leafy green sitting quietly in the produce section of your grocery store, but nutritionally, it's one of the most powerful nitrate sources in the entire vegetable world. And nitrates are exactly what your body needs to rebuild nitric oxide production. When you consume nitrate-rich foods like arugula, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide through a natural pathway involving beneficial bacteria in your mouth and digestive system. The result is something called vasodilation. That simply means your blood vessels relax and widen. And when blood vessels widen, blood can travel more easily down into the legs and feet. Research examining nitrate-rich leafy greens has shown measurable improvements in blood vessel function and circulation when consumed consistently. In practical terms, that means your muscles receive more oxygen, your nerves receive better nourishment, and circulation becomes more efficient. But there is one challenge with arugula: its flavor. Arugula has a sharp, peppery taste that many people find difficult to eat in large amounts. That's why turning it into a smoothie works so well. Here's a simple circulation smoothie recipe I often recommend. 2 cups fresh arugula, 1 cup blueberries, 1/2 banana, 1 cup unsweetened almond milk blend. Everything until smooth and drink it immediately. The fruit softens the peppery flavor while still delivering a powerful nitrate boost. Many people report that after drinking this smoothie regularly for 1 to 2 weeks, they begin noticing warmer feet, fewer nighttime leg cramps, improved walking endurance, greater comfort in their legs throughout the day. The only real downside is preparation. You need fresh ingredients and a blender, which makes it slightly less convenient than some of the other drinks on this list. But nutritionally, it's extremely powerful. That's why the arugula smoothie earns a circulation score of 9 out of 10. Drink number 1, beetroot juice. And now we arrive at the number 1 circulation drink. Beetroot juice. Among all natural foods studied for vascular health, beets contain some of the highest concentrations of dietary nitrates ever measured. When these nitrates enter the body, they convert rapidly into nitric oxide. And when nitric oxide levels rise, blood vessels open wider, allowing blood to flow more freely throughout the circulatory system. Multiple clinical studies have shown that beetroot juice can significantly improve blood vessel function, reduce blood pressure, and enhance circulation. But what makes beet juice particularly impressive is how quickly it can begin working. Some studies show measurable improvements in blood flow within 2 to 3 hours after drinking it. Many people actually feel the difference the same day. Their feet begin warming, that heavy sensation in the calves starts fading, and walking becomes noticeably easier. With regular consumption, people often report reduced leg cramping, improved walking endurance, less heaviness in the legs, better overall mobility for best results. Drink about 8 ounces of pure beetroot juice in the morning on an empty stomach. This allows the nitrates to absorb efficiently. You can buy bottled beet juice or make it fresh using 3 to 4 medium beets in a juicer. One small detail to know in advance. Beet juice may turn your urine or stool slightly pink. This is completely harmless and simply reflects the natural pigments found in beets. However, anyone with a history of kidney stones should speak with their doctor first, since beets contain compounds called oxalates. A simple circulation routine if you want to try this approach for improving circulation. Here is a simple routine many people follow. Morning, 8 ounces of beetroot juice on an empty stomach. Afternoon, hibiscus tea or celery juice several times per week. An arugula smoothie for additional nitrate support. Consistency is the key. These drinks work by providing the natural compounds your body needs to restore nitric oxide production. And over time, that can help blood vessels regain flexibility and support healthier circulation throughout the legs. Because circulation decline with age is not always inevitable. Sometimes the body simply needs the right nutrients to function the way it was designed to.